Welcome everyone, Dr. Tom DePaoli here. Video giving you insights on my book, Common Sense Supply Chain Management. I really hope you enjoy it. Please subscribe to my channel. I'd appreciate all subscriptions. There will be many more videos to follow. The purpose of Apollo Solutions and mission is to share and pay forward the hard knocks lessons learned in life, career, and business. I ask you to pay forward the lessons you learn from this video. Here's my book that I wrote. It's rated as one of the top 9 supply chain books and has received great feedback. Starts out with stories from the trenches of the supply chain. I firmly believe that storytelling really works, and I think you enjoy the supply chain stories. The next slide shows my background. As you can see, I've had lots of experiences, not only in the supply chain, but transformation, e-procurement, e-commerce, and other venues. I've published 12 books. They're available on Amazon if you'd like to check them out. Building trust is critical, especially in the supply chain. One of the best ways to do it is with honesty and integrity, and I talk about that. Relationships are also key. Building relationships and working on relationships in all the people involved in the supply chain is very important, and I give you some tips on how to do that. Chapter 3 talks about walking the process and understanding who does the work and how it's done. I'd advise you, if you have employees working for you, to learn how to do their jobs and to sit down and talk to them about it. I also talk about transformation and some of the rules of transformation. Obviously, it's a big undertaking. And whenever I've done transformation, I made sure that the progress of the transformation was visible and the metrics were measurable. I talk a lot about Lean Six Sigma in Chapter 5. I'm a Lean Six Sigma black belt. I show you the shortcuts and a lot of things that worked and did not work. Here is a Kaizen roadmap that I use, and I think you'll find it very helpful. The book explains Kaizens thoroughly. I talk about information-based negotiations, which in the supply chain is learning as much as you can about an industry and the suppliers. In fact, more than they know, so you can negotiate and talk with them freely and honestly. Here's the steps. It's important to plan and have a strategy in the supply chain, and many supply chain professionals neglect to do that. Take the time to do it and you'll be much more successful. Understand supplier tactics, what they do and why they do it. I talk about industries and some of the supplier tactics and some that were used on me. You soon become educated in the tactics and you soon understand why suppliers use them. Testing suppliers is critical. If you're going to put in a new supplier, do a test run. Make sure that all the systems work. Sourcing suppliers. You've got to have a disciplined methodology to source suppliers and follow it. There are many of them out there. Take advantage of them and use them. Make sure your metrics are true and worthwhile and are meaningful. You can't have the same metrics for every supplier. You've got critical materials and non-critical materials, so the metrics should be different. Make sure you use discipline and rules in your supply chain approach. Get rid of as much bureaucracy as possible. Make sure people follow the rules and discipline in the supply chain. I talk about e-stuff in Chapter 15. Watch-outs on e-procurement or e-supply chain systems and what you need to do first. You've got to have a good strategy and good tactics first before you put in a computer system. I talk also about purchasing cards, which a lot of people poo-poo nowadays, but they can help some organizations and should be considered. I talk a lot about global sourcing and understanding culture. Chapter 17 goes into depth about it. Never underestimate the influence of culture on a supplier, especially globally. Now my call to action. Give my book a try. It's available on Amazon. Thanks much. Here's some of my other books out there. You can easily find them on Amazon. They will also be very helpful. You really can get a Hard Knocks MBA with my books because I share a lot of the hard lessons that I've learned. One of the things I want to do is I don't want you to go through the same pain I did learning the Hard Knocks lessons. Enjoy my advice. Okay? I hope you had a good time with this video. Thank you so much for your time. I do appreciate it. Here is some contact information. All right. If you have any questions, contact me via email, and I will gladly send you copies of this presentation if you so desire. I've also had I have a pretty neat website you can look at, drtombooks.com. One more time, please subscribe to my channel. I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you again.